Hey guys, so if you haven't been living under a rock, you're aware that Apple released macOS Big Sur, finally after a good 5 or 6 months in beta, which personally was annoying waiting for. But whatever, let's roll. Okay, so if you weren't living under a rock, you know that the install period on November 12th was so bad for Big Sur. Like, everyone on Twitter was complaining about how they can't get it and how it was so annoying. Like, for me, I downloaded it multiple times on my personal MacBook and on another MacBook. And, well, it finished and then said update failed. And I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind because I know I did not just spend like a good 3 hours watching you update. And then fast forward a good 8 hours after me trying to update the computers, and well, finally, Apple fixed their servers and everyone got Big Sur on their Macs. So let's talk about my 5 favorite features. So first off, if you have a 2017 or 2016 or 2018 MacBook that doesn't have a startup chime, well, listen to this when you first open it. They brought back the startup chime. So now, this isn't the only sound that they've brought back, actually. They've actually redesigned all of the macOS sounds, which is so cool, because I'm like, I'll take a screenshot and I'll go, ding, ding. And it's like, they're so cool to see, like, whoa, they're entirely different and new like that now. So it's so cool to see all of them and be like, whoa, this is new now. It's, like, different and everything. And also, so, keeping on that line of being different, the whole operating system is different. Like, all the icons take a book, I guess you could say, out of iOS's page, which is kind of funny that, in my opinion, that it's all uniform, because if you remember, Apple said they would never merge iPad OS and macOS, but it slowly seems to be that they kind of are, but not in the extent of I can run macOS on my iPad and iPad OS on my MacBook. If you have an M1 Mac, you can run App Store apps from your iPhone or iPad on that if the developers allow you to. So there are some apps that don't allow you to, which is on the developer's side. They just don't want you to. But I have seen, like, you can play Among Us on your Mac now, which is just so cool because I'm someone who doesn't like to really play mobile games on my phone just because I'm not a big fan of, like, gaming on my phone. I will play on my iPad, but I would love to, like, play on my computer instead because I feel like it'd be so much easier to play on my computer than it would be on my iPhone. So now let's just talk about the uniformity with iOS. So if you look at the new app icons and how some of the apps are now designed, they look so similar to iOS, which personally I'm all for. I'm all for bringing them to similar because I can't tell you the amount of times I'll pick up my iPhone, go to do something, and then I'll go on my Mac and I'm like, but now this is running 3 software versions behind of what the iPhone can do, like in the Messages app. Apple redesigned the Messages app with iOS 14. Guess what finally got message effects from iOS 10? MacBooks from the iPhone Messages app. And it's about time, in my opinion, that we got all that, because I can't tell you the amount of times, like, I'll text someone happy birthday, and it won't send, like, the balloons or anything, or I can't use really any apps. So now I can send me emoji stickers, pin conversations, mention people in group threads. I can do so much now that just bring them in sync that I couldn't do before, which is just so nice. The new control center. This is something I feel like we've had coming for a long time on Mac, and just Apple finally did it, because I can't tell you the amount of times where I wanted, like, AirDrop or just, like, to quickly access, like, something from the menu bar. Now, my menu bar would be a mess. There would be so many things on it, from the time to the user to Spotlight, Siri, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, AirPlay, sound, and just so many other things that I needed for apps that now I basically have everything in Control Center. And what I like is how I can go in and add toggles, remove toggles, drag toggles to my menu bar if I do need them, which is just so cool that, like, oh, you want this here? Just boom, just drag it up and just get rid of it. Or, hey, you don't want this? You do have to go to settings to turn something off in the Control Center, which is annoying. That, like, you can't just, like, do it, but it's the same thing on iOS. If you want to get rid of it, you can't. So, that is its one issue in my opinion, but hey, it's fine. I think we can all survive with it. And then now, just the whole design of macOS Big Sur, it does kind of go away from the old 3D look that macOS originally had going for it for a while now, which personally I'm okay with, because they did something called neoskeuomorphism, which essentially is, while it is like 2D, it incorporates 3D elements into it. So essentially, like, if you look at that new menu bar, it is transparent to whatever your wallpaper is, which is so cool, because I can't say the amount of times I'm like, that black bar up there just doesn't look right now, because I would use dark mode, so the bar would be black for me. But now it'll blend in with my background, which is so cool. And then I'll have the floating dock on the side, and with all the new icons, and it's so cool to see all that. And like Safari was redesigned, and all these apps were redesigned for M1 Silicon as well, but also just for every Mac user, which is so nice, because I love to see redesigns. Whether, now look, do I want to see this every year? No, maybe like every 4 or 5 years. I feel like they could do something a little, like changing up some of the app icons. Like, I wish they would do that on iOS. Like, some of the app icons I personally believe need to be changed. And while if you do that shortcuts hack with iOS 14, where you use the shortcuts app to actually like cover them, they actually fixed that so it doesn't go to the shortcuts app before it'll go to the app. It'll actually just pop up as a banner and say like App Store from Shortcut, and then you could just dismiss that. So it'll take you right to the app, and you can essentially have your own custom icons, which is just so cool to see. Like, Apple's embracing it. So now I just hope they embrace it on the Mac as well, because I would love to change up some of the Mac icons, which you kind of can, although it is very complicated to do so. So those are just my favorite features now in Big Sur, because Big Sur was a big upgrade for most Mac users, as it brings everything that the Mac was behind by from iOS and iPadOS and all the other Apple platforms to the Mac finally, which is just so cool. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.